It seems like Jamie Foxx's strange well-being alarm has a ton of similitudes with Martin Lawrence's breakdown in 1996. As the entertainer talked about the idea of Jamie's hospitalization, he expressed that somebody was attempting to dispose of Jamie, very much like it happens to numerous other gifted, however unexpectedly awkward dark big names in the Broadway well. With practically no authority reports on Foxx's well-being, it appears as though we are drawing nearer to gain proficiency with the genuine truth without the lives that the business need to take care of us with. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. I keep my eyes on the most examined occasions in the stage and continuously present to you the most sizzling update. The Oscar-winning entertainer Jamie Foxx stays in emergency clinic as he recuperates from his strange ailment that stunned Hollywood around 3 weeks prior. Up until this point, we have very restricted data on the entertainer's present status, and they say that even the specialists that are treating him don't see every one of the reasons of his abrupt medical services. In the meantime, quite a large number superstars can't stand beside this episode, and as they remark on Foxx's hospitalization, an ever-increasing number of worries and questions show up. Obviously, even Jamie's dearest companions don't know about what's genuinely occurring with him, and some even begun to propose that there are sure individuals who doesn't the entertainer alive, and the entire occurrence was nothing else except for an endeavor to end his life. Martin Lawrence couldn't stay quiet seeing his companion battling for his life, and imparted his own insight on Jamie's circumstance. Well, after it, fans quickly began to guess, assuming the powers who control Hollywood are some way or another connected with this occurrence, and whether Jamie turned into one more uncontrolled VIP they needed to dispose of. Will be on the road waving a weapon shouting, "They are attempting to kill me." Jamie Foxx's circumstance stays a puzzle for a great many fans for very nearly 3 weeks now. Since the day the entertainer was hurried to a clinic in Atlanta, his condition stays undisclosed, and in particular Jamie's family would not give any open assertions and, surprisingly, requested to give them security anyway. Simultaneously, there has been a tremendous eruption among celebs who shared their perspectives via virtual entertainment, and some of them even reviewed when they were working or meeting with Jamie, like as though the entertainer is no longer with us. With such air of mystery, it's unimaginable not to feel that something obscure is happening here, and taking into account the torrential slide of public credits coming a rundown, celebs fans normally began to stress, in spite of the hypotheses that Jamie essentially exhausted and his state is caused by a mental meltdown and issues in set. Neither his PR group nor his family have delivered any proof. In addition to there were claims that police have visited the entertainer in medical clinic, and everything begins to seem like a criminal show or possibly an endeavor to dispose of Jamie. Most certainly not weariness or anything that the media attempts to sell us, and fans made a few determinations and obviously tracked down many frightening similitudes between Martin Lawrence's breakdown in 1996 and Jamie's ongoing hospitalization back to the days when peculiar way of behaving on the roads was not ordinary. Observers saw the entertainer and humorist Martin Lawrence running out of the road and shouting like a lunatic until police showed up and, surprisingly, then he attempted to ward them off as they endeavored to control him. Martin, who just 30 years of age in 1996, was in the long run captured after individuals saw him ran into the center of the traffic in occupied regulation with a firearm, reviling, waving his hands and hollering at approaching vehicles. After the hospitalization, there were numerous hypotheses, however chiefly the entertainer was marked insane and being on something. Martin later attempted to make sense of that. The sensationalist newspapers were misrepresenting the situation, particularly depicting him as a medication client, and despite the fact that he said he got such encounters in his past, the situation was completely wound by the media to sell more papers and lift their rating. While remarking on this occurrence, Martin expressed, "They made a ton of things up to sell a superior story. You don't have the foggiest idea what that resembles until you've experienced it. Evidently the media doesn't have anything to manufacture about Jamie since the family shut away all journalists, and indeed, even a portion of Jamie's dear companions have no admittance to his emergency clinic room. In spite of the reports that Foxx is now conscious and ready, his family attempts to limit the contacts with him, presumably not permitting anybody with threatening endeavors to move toward the delicate entertainer. By what it looks, the harming wheels of the business are striving to dispose of another guiltless life, and many fans accept that something is off base in the Hollywood climate, since there are various models like this when a decent and pleasant individual was the entirety of the the unexpected marked insane junkie or whatever else. As one fan remarked, every one of them pursued the distinction and fortune, and presently they are detainees of the business and the main way out is Zombieland or demise. And someone else added, you know, when I consider it, Kenny said that the Hollywood business will take one more top VIP out he that several months back. Damn disgrace. And he was correct. Evidently, on the off chance that you become excessively badly designed for the business, you wind up dying frantic or hospitalized, and to this end Jamie's family is safeguarding him. As far as sick impact from the external, they might be aware that it was an assault on Jamie, and as certain specialists guaranteed, he is fortunate to have made it. As the insider said, it was tricky for quite a long time with him and he must be restored. He is exceptionally fortunate to be alive. He's extremely fortunate. He figured the therapy he did well. It feels more than clear why his family permits no spillages to the media, and a couple of Jamie's dear companions got the brief look on the genuine justification for why he was taken to the emergency clinic so earnestly, and what saves the entertainer in bed for very nearly 3 weeks now. Martin Lawrence faults the climate on the grounds that the comparable thing had happened to him previously and he went through some serious hardship attempting to try not to get systematized. In addition to, Martin feels like it's his obligation as a companion and an individual dark entertainer to safeguard Jamie in light of the fact that once he, at the end of the day, was shielded from the harmful Hollywood culture by his long-lasting companion Dave Chappelle. While examining Martin's supposed breakdown, Dave unhesitatingly expressed that it was past insane to see a solid and intense man like Martin snapping being this way, and something most certainly was the matter with the entire circumstance. As Dave said, let me ask you this, what's going on in Hollywood? That person, that extreme, would be on the road waving a firearm shouting, they're attempting to kill me, what's happening? Then Dave kept examining the territory of Hollywood, saying that the climate has become obscure and poisonous for the vast majority celebrities since they're going off the deep end, being named insane or essentially standardized with no excuses for that. Dave expressed out loud, whatever is occurring in Hollywood, no one realizes. A man like Jamie Foxx could scarcely make any issues for the strong of the business, and even Martin Lawrence says that the entertainer is one of the most amazing that we got in Hollywood, one of the most incredible performers as well as a decent individual. Fans currently imagine that Jamie was basically excessively great for the business and perhaps needed to break liberated from the controlling climate, and this is the way he paid for it when a couple of years prior Jamie declared that he was wanting to take a quick turn in his vocation and direct his first film. It was an admonition sign for somebody that the entertainer intends to break free, so the task was immediately killed. The genuine justification for why the parody coordinated by Jamie could never see the light has never been expressed yet, as the media recommended. Foxx went far past the line with a portion of his jokes he had composed for the film situation, and his undertaking was excessively provocative for studios. Well, it just demonstrates how little control big names have over their lives and ventures, and regardless of the help of a rundown celebs like Eva Longoria, Gerard Stewart, Benicio del Toro, Sneak Homeboy, and Robert Downey Jr., the influential people made up their brains about what will be permitted to made up their psyches show up on screens anyway. Bearing your fantasies about first time at the helm might seem don't like anything in correlation with losing your life and psyche, and this is precisely exact thing Jamie Foxx is battling until further notice, while he is encircled by his family and away from every one of the guilty parties that wished him sick. Martin Lawrence hasn't considered his companion to be well yet. He got a few updates from Fox's family and you could tell that he is still exceptionally concerned and confounded about the entire circumstance. Martin genuinely wishes his companion to improve and stay away from the destiny of being marked insane or dependent by the media. Lawrence is happy to the family gets the sneaking journalists far from the entertainer and said that he would uphold his companion up and down his direction to recuperation with his requests. As Martin shared with the press, well, I hear he's improving, my requests go out for him consistently and simply hoping everything turns out great for him. Many individuals are saying that Jamie is simply one more casualty of the business like Martin in 1996, and presumably the news reports about the entertainer's well-being alarm would be a long way from truth, as it generally occurs with the famous people they have no control over. One thing's for certain, fans are sure that Hollywood isn't protected, particularly in the event that you won't do everything you're said, as one individual remarked. Hollywood, the music business, both are very obscure, yet so many will offer their spirits to be engaged with it all. Ideally, this isn't a scheme against Jamie's supplications for him. Furthermore, his family and someone else composed. I think these VIPs should be more open about what's happening. They are the ones in particular that can begin the change. Up until this point, everything we can do is to appeal to God for Jamie to get better. The entire episode appears to keep going excessively lengthy and without true updates. Wild reports and hypotheses continue to fill the online entertainment. What do you figure? Is Jamie's family really safeguarding the entertainer from the ghastly grasp of T?